So my name's EJ, EverReflect team lead. I think we're going to have a few of our board members and potentially Stu popping in here later today. But I did want to give everyone an update that just now on the contract, I will actually share my screen. I'll take a look. We have reduced the tax on the contract for the liquidity pool. So if you were to go into the contract under read, scroll down, and you will see now that liquidity fee is 1%. Brody, marketing fee is 2%, and the reward token, VUSD, is still 15%. Well, he's going to town on that today. One other aspect that I wanted to bring up was in regard to our the burn, because a lot of people are kind of questioning in regards to what that is, where it's locked, why is there 90 trillion tokens that are still in pink sale lock. So what I will do is in the chat, I will actually pop this in for everybody in the chat to see. So this is the link to the pink sale lock tokens. This is our contract address. So for anybody that wants or needs both of those, feel free to take that and you can pop it in to the locks. Let me get him a treat. Yeah, here, you take this, I'll take that. So you can see EverReflect has 90 trillion in pink lock. Now, when you go through and you can view the lock, we did this AMA prior to them unlocking because there was a lot of people that were questioning what was the premise for it, why is it done this way? They unlock in 3 hours, 56 seconds. What we will do is we will burn 5 trillion of these. And then there was a very solid suggestion from somebody in the last couple of days that we will then relock them per week. So if you look at our strategic plan in our white paper, we're burning 5 trillion per week, except for next week that we'll be burning 10 trillion tokens. And that is going to be the final tax reduction. We're also going to go to my crypto signature. I will pop in some verbiage about the tax will remain at 17%, 15% of that always being BUSD. And then I will sign that in. And there will be a transaction hashtag that we'll then put into the group so everybody will be able to see it. So with that being said, we have 4 hours before the tokens unlock. Because those tokens are still not unlocked, I want to give everybody that's in here the opportunity before, because I think last week there was some questions of like, oh, they burn some tokens and instantly price will be varied, or it will go up or it will go down. Burning tokens does not directly correlate with the price or with the liquidity pool. It directly correlates with circulating supply and actually the market cap. So market cap goes down every time we burn because of the fact that there's less in circulating supply. So that value, that's the liquidity pool, which is backed up with BNB, in our liquidity pool, everything actually becomes more valuable because there's less tokens. So what we'll do is, now that we all know the burn is happening in a couple hours, I want everybody to get it on the table, ask any questions that you have in regards to burn before we do today's, because unnecessary expectations aren't good either. This all goes back to education, and it all goes back to what we're trying to do with our team of informing people that we have a great token with a 15% BUSD reward. Actually, today, everybody's talking about how thinking of in the past and what the price was and launch and pre-sale and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The token is stronger today. There's more BNB in the liquidity pool that we paired with EVRF that's now in Pancake. The taxes are lower, and it still has a 15 BUSD reward, and our circulating supply is going down. So with all of that being said, I will open it up. I see Blastronauts, so I'll unmute you. And any other questions that people might have before we burn these tokens today? This is going to be a little bit different than most weeks, because most weeks we're going to jump on here, we're going to burn them straight up. But this week I wanted to give everybody kind of a little bit of a window of opportunity. Ask any questions. What's going to happen with the circulating supply? What's going to happen with the market cap? Any of those things, if people aren't familiar with what happens when you burn tokens from a dev wallet. So I'll let you start in, Blastronauts. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, what's going on? How's everything?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I mean, thank you for that introduction. I actually jumped on the call, and I wanted to kind of like ask you to give an explanation as to how the burning works, because a lot of people on the chat has been asking for that, and they have a misconception. So I appreciate that you kind of went into details with that. Obviously, is that like the hoodie that you're wearing? Is that a merch? Is there a patch on the right side? Oh yeah, dude, we need one of those, man. Like, we gotta get those merches in as well, so that we can kind of like get that.
Well, everything takes time. I mean,
right.
There's no good way to rush Printful getting international shipping. We've already been working on it for a full month. We started the process back in early January 2nd, actually, my birthday, for all of the merch, getting things lined up so that it would be available. Stu and I are working on this constantly, day in and day out. I know that H-Unit has done some stuff with merch already, but it's not going to come as soon as people expect it. That's life. But with the merch, it is going to be on there. It's going to be a fulfillment link that we have with another third-party distributor that they can then process it, that they'll keep all of the inventory, and then they'll be able to ship it out. But the biggest factor for us was going to be international shipping. So we were holding off on waiting to make sure that we had stuff that we didn't want people to buy, $50 hoodie, $60 hoodie, whatever it might be, and then pay $120 for shipping. So that has been the strategic path that we've been working on since early January with regards to the merge.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you for that. I appreciate the clarification. I'll give somebody else to ask some questions. Thanks.
And then going back to the burn. So burn each week, it lowers circulating supply. Circulating supply, we modeled this math after what we've considered basically the grandfathers of reflection tokens, SafeMoon and EGC. We say it all the time that there's a ton of debt and gratitude that we owe to both of those teams and both of those tokens, because they were the ones that blazed the path first and foremost. With regard to what they've done, they were trying to lower circulating supply below 500 trillion. So that was the buyback and burn component. We held back 100 trillion tokens because we thought it would be fun. We thought once we get this rolling, it builds trust with our team, because we're not going to sell the tokens. We're not doing anything with them other than unlocking, relocking, and in between that, burning. So it will lower that circulating supply much faster, down to 400 trillion tokens. That'll be all that'll be in the inventory until we incorporate the utilities. Utilities with both the BSC chart and with the NFT live event tickets will incorporate a component of the NFT purchase that will burn some EVRF. And then there will be some that will probably be sent back to either the contract address wallet for NFTs or for EVRF. But the process is still being worked out. And that's kind of the process with where we will get additional burn after we burn this 90 trillion tokens. So any other questions with EJ? I want everybody to visit that link. It's a trust factor that we understand. But I think everybody will know from my personality, one, you're not getting rid of me. I'm not giving up on this project. And I've never once sold an EVRF token and never have the plan to sell an EVRF token. Secondly, it's consistency. Everybody's going to keep asking about consistency because they want to see it daily. You're not necessarily going to see the efforts of what we have done last week until next week, or this week's next week. It's consistency, folks. That's how marketing works. That's how life works. That's how this token works. That's how these burns are going to work. Consistency, consistency, consistency. It's the key. It's the repetition. I was telling this to some of the mods the other day that there's tons of great business ideas, tons of people that can come up with inspired thoughts. Oh, this would revolutionize the world. This would be great. The problem is that ideas are only as good as how long you implement the strategy to accomplish those goals. We're implementing the strategies. We're going to be consistent about everything that we're building because we're building actual business. And certain things, even going back to like with the merch, some of that takes official paperwork that we had to get from Delaware to be able to file it with doing DBAs and things of that nature that just take time. And because we're doing this all correctly, because we did CMC correctly, taking some time, looking into SafeMoon Swap. There's regulations on SafeMoon Swap that want to know our human trafficking policy. Well, those things have to be drafted. Those bylaws have to be written. Things of that nature take time, and they aren't going to be instantaneous, but they're all coming. And that's the best thing that we can do. I guess, it's not even reassurance. It's just more of this is who we are. This is who we've been since November. Most of the people that have been here since November have probably heard and seen my face way too damn much. And they're at the point where like, okay, we get it. Like he's constantly going to be here. He's constantly going to be coming back. And our entire team will be as well, because everybody's invested into this long term. There's no instant gratification in life. If you think that there is, and it doesn't matter, even if you made $1 billion on Bitcoin, that instant gratification isn't going to solve all your problems. The only way to accomplish things is going back to the consistency. And I know I'm going to be a broken record with that today, but that's what you will see. That's what you'll see from our team. That's what you'll see from me personally. And that's what you'll see from all of the mods. And I guarantee you'll see it from a lot of the community members that have been here since November and December. All right. There has to be more questions. Any other questions about liquidity pools? Any other questions in regards to the burn, the circulating supply? How any of that affects the chart? How any of that affects the market cap? One other thing, I just saw one. Hey, Liberty Grunt, how are you, buddy? Oh, I saw that. I thought you were unmuted. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Thanks very much. Hey, EJ. It's great.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Yeah. Hey, look, more of a comment than anything else. Been following you, since you started on, or at least launched on the 20th, been investing continuously to this day. And I know there was a lot of folks, just a comment, there's a lot of folks that really, to your point, want instant gratification. Things like this take time, to your point. There's no magic pixie dust that automatically will magically make this thing go to a new all-time high without a good, sound, solid, well-structured and disciplined execution strategy. And I think you've demonstrated that you have that. We just need to, those who actually really thoroughly understand that which all the admins have stated about that strategy, need to let that sink in and recognize that if you want to actually invest in something that's going to make a difference in a variety of different realms of life, even one's own life, follow the plan, be patient, and you've been exceptionally approachable, and that's actually one of the characteristics that you don't see often in this world, right? So sink or swim, I'm with you. That's all I want to say on that.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. And I hope you ended up getting into the Tango Tier 2 as well. If not, then we'll make sure that we hook you up over there, because the consistency with me and my personality, and I do sometimes make myself more accessible than what's even humanly possible. And I apologize for that, guys. Like, I'm an emotional person. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I love people. I'll tell you that in the chat. And I will also try to do my best to be able to message everybody back. Over the last few days, the consistency of my time hasn't been able to be as focused because I've been working with Stu so much in regards to the utilities that we're wanting to launch. And then the rest of the team that's busting their asses to make sure that there's going to be consistent buys, large scale buys of consistent marketing. And I get it too, where a lot of people are either frustrated because either you're not familiar with buying a high tax token, but we can't live in our conditioned past. Like, that is one thing that I will not do. I understand we can talk about it. If you have questions about what has happened up until this point, I would highly recommend everybody check out the AMAs on our YouTube. I wish that our YouTube had, 10,000 views, because not so much that we had the subs, but just so that people would see what H Unit and I have been saying about how Pancake works, about how liquidity pools work, about how the taxation works, the tokenomics, the long-term strategies for implementing blockchain utilization in the real world. Like, those are the key things that we're trying to get across to the community. You can't always do that in just a one-on-one in a group Telegram chat, but there's hours of content talking about our project. The other thing is that you can't always live in the past and think that you're going to be able to live a future of any kind of like brightness, or that it's going to end up turning into something that's going to be glorious. I know that sounds cliche, but I highly recommend check out Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you think that your mindset doesn't affect the outcome, you're completely wrong. And if living in the past is what everybody's going to do, then you're going to be there. We can't live in the past. We're not living in the past. We're not perfect. We're not going to say that we've been perfect. We're never going to do everything perfect, but we're going to bust our butts to make sure that we're doing it to the best of our abilities, do it with transparency, doing it with integrity. When we admit that we've tried things, some will work, some won't work, but some of these things are going to end up working. We're going to end up hitting that 1,001 time when Einstein or when Edison ended up creating the light bulb. Like, that stuff is very, 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 very feasible in this space. We're at the cusp of a new transition, a new catalyst and turning of the times with blockchain. And even if people don't like me, okay, this is just a little side chat about other tokens, other projects, other teams. If people don't even necessarily want to support EJ or any of the team from EverReflect or EVRF anymore, fair enough. Fair enough. I can take that. But don't go into any other token and think that it's going to solve all of your problems from a launch day. And if they are a good team, like the teams that we're partnering with, we had made an announcement with Green Life Energy last week in John Wood, one of the best human beings I've ever met. We have another announcement coming next week from another team, another project that has just exceptional value and exceptional partnership on its way. Treat those teams with respect. Treat those teams with gratitude. I'm not asking for myself. I'm literally asking for other teams that are doing it with integrity, that are doing it in a space with transparency, because we all have gotten burned, but we have all also found one or two gems. So with that being said, when you find those teams, nurture them, nurture those communities. That's what blockchain needs, especially BSC blockchain, because there's so many scams. There's so many devs that are not going to dox themselves. They're not going to be transparent. They're not going to try to message you back. They're not going to ask how you're doing when you were in the hospital. They're not going to wonder what the name of your dog was. They're not going to know what you watch on History Channel on Tuesday nights. That's what we are. We're not perfect. We never said we were going to be perfect. We're not planning on being perfect. There was one man that was perfect, and look what happened to him. No matter what your religious beliefs are or any of that kind of stuff. But as the concept and the story goes, there was one perfect man, and look what ended up happening to him. We don't think that we are. We don't say that we are. We're not planning on being it. But I can tell you what we are going to be doing, and that's going to be the most damn consistent team coming at you with new utilities and creative designs that Stu's putting together that will revolutionize some major components of live entertainment and the entertainment space. If we're the first there and we have the community to do it, we're still early. And then another aspect of removing the emotions from buying any tokens, not to even talk about EVRF, but look at what the market is doing in general. I mean, a lot of the downward turn has become has been directly correlated with threats of executive orders. Executive orders scare people, and if you think that there's going to be an executive order on Bitcoin or on Ethereum, and that they will somehow be able to track your wallet and be able to tax your wallet in addition to the capital gains tax that's coming out when you put it into your bank account, that scares a lot of people. BP, one of our board members, works in finance, a brilliant man, way more into the financial space than I can even fathom being as far as international markets. What does he say to me every day? Look at where the overall market cap of all cryptocurrencies are. 3 months ago, it was over 3 trillion. 3 trillion as far as the overall market cap for all cryptocurrencies. I looked at CoinMarketCap this morning. I think it was still around 1.7 trillion. And then it dipped down into the 1.6s. That means that there's been, in essence, 1.3 to 1.4 trillion cryptocurrency dollars that have been converted back into fiat that are no longer in any volumes, no longer in any circulating tokens. It's just not there. So the volatile swings we're going to see. If you decided that you wanted to trade utility tokens and thought that it was going to never be volatile for anyone, for any token ever, it's not necessarily the space. But you can teach yourself to not give into the emotions. You can teach yourself to create a mindset, like Coach spoke about the other day, of creating a strategic plan. Know what you're going to do. We didn't even say, obviously with our private sales and with our board, that they're basically have signed their life away to the team, that they can't sell their tokens. However, if there's other people that say they've bought in and you are strategic about when you have to take profits, that makes sense because you would do it for any token. It wouldn't matter if it was Doge. It wouldn't matter if it's EGC. It wouldn't matter if it's SafeMoon. But have a strategic plan. Don't pull the trigger unless you know well in advance that you want to do this. We said this back in November. We're taking time with this project to build the community. We're taking time with this project to be able to give our forward-thinking plan and give people advance notice. Hey, EverReflect's here. Hey, this is our team. Hey, everybody, take time to get to know us. We're pretty accessible, and there's 13 board members and another 20 admins and mods that are available to chat or available to answer questions. We're doing this because we want to do it right, and we want to slow down the space, and we want to take our time with what we're building. This isn't going to be a rush job. This isn't going to be, somebody said that we needed to be able to get this done next week, so now we're going to just release something with no utilization, with no, with all kinds of bugs, any of that kind of stuff. We're not going to rush it. But we will take our time, and we have very, very skilled people that will put in the effort to build it. Who else do we got here? All right, I see Olea Ayimo. I think I got that right. You can unmute yourself.
Hello.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. How are you doing?
Good, man. What can we answer for you?
Yeah. So I noticed that because a lot of activities are happening in the crypto markets recently, and then prices are going down. Right. So it also impacted EverReflect. But of course, I feel that yes, probably in the short while when the bull run for the major cryptos comes up, it will also impact EverReflect positively. But I just want to ask, is it that the major crypto impact EverReflect so well, just like the other altcoins, or its impact on EverReflect is minimal, or to what extent? Can you put that into proper perspective so that we can have an idea? Because I also know that for some other few tokens, at certain times where the major cryptos are having a nosedive in their trend, they also have some kind of boom, relative boom. So I don't know, do you guys have anything in place such that, yes, we might have sometimes where the major cryptos were impacted, but do you also have plans to ensure that either the impact is minimal or there are instances where we'll have the opposite trend. That is, when the major crypto are nosediving, we will see EverReflect going upwards. Do you have any thing coming up like that?
Well, I will tell you my opinion in regards to why we're currently seeing a sell-off. To answer your last question, no, absolutely not. There's no guarantees. Like, if you're in this space and you think you're going to get guarantees because there any token other than consistent marketing that we're doing and consistent building of the utilities that can then sometimes make an influx of new holders, yes, that will be taking place. But to say that we can guarantee it against the volatility of BTC and Ethereum, no. And I wouldn't even take that. I wouldn't even take on that challenge because it will always impact the entire market. Chris from Mobile Trades has a great video, I think from maybe a month or 3 weeks ago. He talks about the market as a whole and how we're still tethered to Bitcoin. Yes, it's on Ethereum. Yes, Ethereum is a network that a lot of people don't use want to use because of the high gas fees. So that's why we use BSC. But it's still tethered. It's still one way that people end up taking out the fiat value that's backing up cryptocurrency. So we're always going to see it until it can. I don't know when that day will come or if that day ever will come. I will say this, though, that because, and this goes back to the community, okay? The community was the reason we had all of the launch buying pressure. So it's two sides of the coin. Some people could say that it was so bad that we had so much buying pressure, or you could look at it as a positive and say, wow, that was amazing. Because that was an organic community that was built up in Telegram of over 4,000 people that invited their friends, they invited their colleagues. They knew that they came into the space, they wouldn't hear a whole lot of bitching because people were being nice to each other. I tell it to the mods all the time, build relationships, build rapport. I want to know what you're doing this weekend. I don't want to have an argument with you about what necessarily was the sell ratios of a transaction. I will do the calculations for you. I will take the time. I think that we did. I'll upload it again. There's another spreadsheet that's what did you buy your EverReflect price at? And so I'll put that into the chat right now. You can do you can go back to your transaction and be able to run all those numbers yourself. I want people to be able to learn how to do that so you understand it, not just for EverReflect, for any other tokens that are going to be coming out that have rewards, that have reflections. It's good that people understand the math of when I buy this at launch, if there's price volatility, if I buy this at launch and there's a tax, how do I calculate it? Why do I think that I got this, but I should have gotten this? It's all education. We're not scared of education. Education is the key. I think what has happened with our sell-off, going back to the original question, there's very few tokens in my personal wallet, not counting EverReflect, not talking about EverReflect at all, talking about Dogecoin, which I own some, Satoshi Street Bets, Bitrise, EGC, SafeMoon. That's why we're an advocate of multiple tokens. If you don't want to buy ours today and don't want to trade ours today, go buy MetaBUSD, go buy Green Life Energy. But there's very few of those tokens that are in my personal wallet, which I'm dedicated to. Like I've said before, I won't sell my Bitrise. They taught me a lot as well. I will not sell my Evergrow coin. They taught me a ton. And the same thing with SafeMoon, because I think that they were the initial trailblazers. I'm not in the profits on a lot of those tokens. So if I bought on average, and I'm also a big advocate of making sure that you're buying at multiple times at multiple prices to basically hedge your bets and to be able to get it at a better moving average price. There's a lot of tokens that people can't. Even if they wanted to sell, they're not going to because it's so far underwater. EVRF, for some people, has put them into a profit state. So if you look at your wallet and you only see one that's in green and you see 12 that are in red, logic would tell you, human nature would tell you, and I won't say it's greed, But in some cases, I would say it's greed if you sell the whole bag, but you're most likely going to take your profits from the one that's in green, right? So eliminate the names, eliminate the tokens. Human nature, human logic tells you that if you have 12 tokens, one's in green, 11 are in red, which one is probably going to be the one that you end up having to sell off? I wish people would have the comfortability to hold some of the tokens still, maybe not, eliminate being the whole bag, but I can't control people's natures, just like I can't control people that click buttons on Pancake Swap or back and forth, whether it's buy or sell or trade, or if it's another one. But I think that's probably the nature of some of the sell-off. We hit an extremely high market cap at a very early rate. And so if that's the only one that's green in their wallet, human nature would tell me that that's probably why some of them are taking the profit. So I did see Stu pop in here for a second. Any other questions? So once again, I will go back to Pink Lock. I will be in the chat tonight at 7 o'clock because it's kind of hard to do that while I'm on the computer and I'm on screen with you guys. We will burn the tokens. If there's any questions about it, ask them now. This is the time. I want people to understand what burning does, why it impacts circulating supply, why it will make our liquidity pool stronger. Our market cap will go down because we're burning. That's the case. The tokens remain the same price, but market cap is down. So what does that mean? That means that people can now buy in or trade in at the same price that it has the same value with less tokens. It's no different than if there were 10 apples and all of a sudden we eliminated 5. Your 5 apples are still worth $1 if that was the original price. But now there's only 5 in circulation. Over time, value goes up because there's lack of resources. And once utilities are up and running, with both the digital ads on the BSC chart and with the live NFT tickets, it becomes a much more valuable asset. So, no questions, guys. Come on. Chat with EJ. All right. How about Stu? Would you like to? Oh, one second. I got one more from my brother from another mother, SOB Brett.
Hey, man. How's it going, EJ?
Good, Brett. How are you today, man? Did you get dumped on? Did you get a ton of snow?
Huh? No.
Did you guys?
We've got nothing.
What? Yeah, we got like 12 inches last night.
Yeah, well, since we sold our house, I don't even care if we get snow now. I just look out the window and watch the other people do it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Off the wall question: what do you have for supper tonight, man? I'm making rack of lamb, so you can hop over the pond if you want and stop over.
You always threaten me with a good dinner.
Yeah, man.
I will
my therapy
probably. If we're being honest, I think I probably put on about 3 to 4 pounds in the last 2 weeks. I have ordered pizza on more occasions than I should have. I did actually make a homemade chicken pot pie the other day, though, and that fed me for like 2 days. And Brody was pretty happy to eat some of that. But no, actually. So with the Domino's here, if you end up ordering 6 pizzas, you get a free one after the 6th. So I maxed that out. So I'm at my free pizza. So I'll probably get my free pizza from Domino's.
Oh, wow.
Not nearly as good as rack of lamb, but.
Yeah, it's therapy for me. It's a rough day of work, and I don't know, cooking, it's my therapy, so.
Yeah, that's smart. It was just a rough day in general? Or
It is every day, man. It's nuts because we got a lot of people out with COVID, and then you also have people nowadays that don't even like to show up to work. It's hard to get people to actually go to work. I don't know where these people are getting their money from, but it's just rough, and it's so dang busy and just long hours. Yeah. When your salary, you don't make any more, you make less the more you work, right? So that's
Right. No, but you guys, I think a lot of people know that my background's in marketing for live events and for festivals and stuff. We saw it a ton here in Michigan that the festival industry was being impacted by seasonal workers. That like
Yep.
people were just not wanting to. They were paying more money than what they've ever done in years past, and had less employees that wanted to show up. I don't know where, like, what are people doing?
I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't.
But
But anyways, it's Friday for me today, so I'm excited.
No, you're
so I
lucky.
can enjoy the rest of the weekend, and it'll be great. I can turn my phone off and don't have to hear about work.
Yeah. Well, that's why I appreciate a person like you, like going back to just like human nature and the people you surround yourself with. That's how our family's always been, that we're all hard workers, and we want to make sure that, you know, there's no free ride
Right.
ever. Like, it's not, even if people aren't going back to wanting to put in the time or, you know, refine their skills, or, you know, self-education is a big part. Like, this is what America needs, and I know that the globe needs it as well, is that we just need more people willing to sometimes almost get their hands dirty. So thank you for doing that.
Yep, that, and you know, this is all about the community, right? We as a community make a token, so just keep doing and just keep buying a little bit as I can, you know. So
well, and even like I said, some people have asked me in DMs like, well, what can I do? You know, is it buy more? Is it to do this? Build friendships. I'm not bullshitting anybody when I'm talking about rapport is the key, the foundation. Build friends, because then if you have tough questions, or if you have issues, or if you have anything that comes up, we can have an honest dialogue and honest conversations, and it can be a more educational process than I'm upset with this person and I'm going to be a child and I didn't get my way, so now I'm going to just kick and cry. It doesn't work. Sorry. You would punish your 10-year-old child if they were to act that way, that some adults act in the crypto space. We can have an honest conversation. I've made it very clear that basically our entire board is willing to answer questions and take the time. But whining, there's no space for it in life, and it doesn't get you any further ahead, because it's going back to the living in the conditioned past. We don't live in the conditioned past. We're living in the conditioned future. Call it visualization, call it whatever you want. We see the goal. We have a strategic plan on how to get to that goal. And we're going to keep working our tails off every single day to accomplish what we've promised. And that's just how we operate and how we work. One other question, Adventure SD, how are you doing, my friend? That is what the heck is that on your logo?
That's the Evergrow monkey. He wants to be a whale when he grows up. That's my meme. So.
That's awesome. That is great. The Evergrow monkey.
Yep. I want to reach out to you guys and just say you guys have been doing an awesome job. And, you know, I got into Evergrow coin early, but not early enough, you know, and got into SafeMoon at a good time and held through, you know, the V2 integration, which has just been a nightmare for people in the transition. But
yeah, there were some pretty big holders that held out, weren't there?
Yep. Yeah, they didn't want to integrate to V2 because they thought it was a scam or something, which is weird. So, I mean, why would you want to wait? And then they turned it up to like 100% tax, which is just crazy.
I know.
But I always tell people is like, if you research a project, you believe in the project, and then like you guys have an amazing dev team, like that's huge to get into and to trust, you know, that you guys did 30 million market cap to start. You dropped down and chilled around 10 million plus for a while. You know, the markets, this is what they do. You shake out those paper hands in the beginning, and then you have your core that's holding. And this whole time I've been dollar cost averaging. I only got about 270 billion from the launch, and now I have 800 billion because I've been dollar cost averaging the whole time. And if you look at the crypto market like you're talking about, it's going to go up to 50 trillion in the next 5 to 6 years. That's a given. It's going to be huge.
Right.
And a project like this could easily be $1 billion project within that time frame. You know, 100 million is very obtainable this year. I see that for this company. It's too big not to be. So if you believe, you know, buy and hold.
And it goes back to, you know, I know I quote Tango and I quote Chris a lot, but both those men I respect a ton. They're well respected, obviously, in their respective YouTubes and Discords. It's real world utility coupled with education. Like, that's why I bonded with those men. Like, if you just, doesn't matter the token, just those two factors. How do you implement blockchain? Because it's powerful. It is damn powerful. And the things that are even above our heads, getting into metaverse and being able to, like what Coach was saying about being able to shop from the convenience of your own home and be able to be digitally in that store. This is the stuff that blockchain has the power and the capability of doing. We're doing two utilities that we think are very logical more than anything, and that can be accomplished with our team skill sets. But man, like, we are still so early into this process. And, you know, like you said, cost averaging, everyone. Like, maybe we will get another person to come in on our like educational Tuesdays with EJ about cost averaging, because it is like people will get burned in this space because of volatility all the time. But if you have a plan, always have a plan. We've had a plan since November. That plan runs through the end of the year. But what you're doing with the cost averaging is a part of the plan. And I know that it's sometimes hard to not click the certain buttons, or that you get wrapped up into the emotions. But if you write it on paper, I'm a huge advocate of keeping a journal and writing it on paper to have a strategic plan. It will help you with every single utility token you ever buy for the remainder of your life. And that's a given. So,
yep. All right. Thank you, guys.
No, thank you, man. Much appreciated that you even brought that up, that you've been doing that, because it's big, and it's I wish that there were more. Maybe we'll have to bring Coach in. Like I said, there should be more classes spoken about cost averaging and the concept of it and how you actually implement it. And the good traders, for a lot of tokens, that's what they do. I've done it, and I failed at it. There's been certain times, Doglaw Mars last year was a good example where I cost averaged all the way down and kept buying it on Bitmark and kept cost averaging and made some nice profits. Did the exact opposite with Doge. Just didn't do well on it. Like, that's how it goes sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I'm still 10 times on Dogelon, so I'm holding that for life.
Dogelon? Oh, yeah. The Dogelon Mars, or Dogelon Mars, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I'm still 10 times up on that, so I'm holding.
Dude, if you see my other profiles, because I'm Balfcoin on most every other network. EJ on here, so people would know who I was, and they would know my name. But I'm Balfcoin on like all the other ones, and it is that Dogelon Mars little pup, because I just think it's cool.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys. I got to get back to work, and I'm on my way to $1 trillion. So
that's awesome. And Trevor, we'll let you pop in here. Did you have a question, Superman?
I was just going to throw something out there real quick, but
go ahead.
I just kind of wanted to let everybody know that the last couple days, I mean, as you've all seen the charts, everything's been kind of rough, as well as across the entire market. And I just kind of want to let the community know that I pop in there a lot. I'm a busy guy, run a small business, so I'm not always able to talk, but I have noticed, and I would like to thank the community members that have been doing their part for keeping the morale up in the chat and keeping the project moving forward with all the, the Where's My Lambo guys. I bought this 2 days ago. How come I don't have a mansion? Just kind of let them know that, as an admin and, a mod in there, I do notice that. I do appreciate it. And, I'm glad they're part of this team, and I'm glad to be part of them on this team.
Yeah. And we are so appreciative of you. Talking about the merch hoodies, the reason that this isn't for sale is because it's limited edition from Superman. That's the community that we want. And that's the community that we want to do things for other people. No different than if you needed something and it's not crypto related. Like, we want, And there's scammers everywhere. I get it that there's people that will be like, I need one B&B because I need to pay for this. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about building true friendships, long-term rapport. I've known Brett and some of those guys from another project for weeks and months now. If Brett were to call me and be like, bro, we're snowed in, I can't get out, we need some help, that I would go over there and help him shovel. Or if he needed something sent because he's sick and he needs dinner. Those are the types of friendships that we need to build in this community, so that when we complain about, oh, we only have 4,000 holders, it should be, guys, we have 4,000 holders. How do we get to 6,000? How do we get to 5,000? How do we get to 10,000, 20,000? And it's going to take the whole community being able to bring it in. And if there's other suggestions, it's great. But regardless of suggestions, we've laid out a roadmap and a plan that we're sticking to. Even with, well, we should change taxes, or we should change what we're doing with the burn tokens. Fair enough. They're great suggestions. It's not going to happen. Why? Because we are people of our word. We're sticking to what we've done. There will still be mistakes, and there will still be massive victories. Those massive victories are the things that we've envisioned already, that we know that are going to happen because we're working our butts off to make it happen. So, Stu, are you ready to jump on the old main stage?
I think I am. Hello. Trying to get this camera right. There's no, I don't like to do the video like this. No, I'm kidding. Today, enough sadness. We're going to talk about NFT ticketing. We have a prototype I want to release. It is on the website right now. If you go to EverReflect.io and you go under resources and apps, you'll see a prototype ticketing tab in which you can check it out while I fix my camera. And if anybody has questions or not, been working on the NFT stuff for a while, and what we're going to do in the long run, and this is where this project was headed, we're going to build our own NFT ticketing exchange, and we can sell the tickets on there. We can trade, swap tickets, and then there's a lot of add-ons like take your NFT ticket to Burger King after the show, and you can get a free this and a free that. Of course, when they resell the ticket, and everybody gets a little juice back. So this is the way the industry is heading. It didn't take us long to figure out we're going to need to build our own exchange, which is fine. I happen to know some people who have built some other exchanges, so we're going to work together with them. And this is just a very, very basic primer prototype of some of the stuff that's going to happen. You can basically just look at the tickets. They're all fake, obviously. None of those are real. And you can click on them and get to a details page with like a mock seating chart and things like that. But that's it.
I'm echoing here. Explain how you get to the end. We go to the website.
Yeah. Go to the website. It's on the top menu. Apps and resources. Yeah.
And what we will do, I think there might be some. I just opened it up, and I will share that link in there. I'm not seeing some of the tickets that we were looking at earlier, just to make sure. So I want to just double check with the link.
It is only for desktop right now, by the way. If anybody's on a mobile phone trying to get this, they won't see it.
Okay.
So it's only for desktop right now.
So that is going to be a sneak peek of what the NFT designs will look like. There's also a checkout portion on there. It's an example purposes. So this is a prototype, but at the same point, it will give a very good idea of what the design work will look like and what we will end up doing in the long term. Like Stu said, he's working with a number of other individuals that are extremely talented. We will have to end up building out our own NFT exchange for those tickets, but then that will be able to allow us to keep it in-house as far as taking EVRF as the utility token, coupled obviously with BNB still to be able to purchase, trade, and buy those tickets. So were there any questions, anything else in regards to, so once again, the link for Pink Lock, everybody can see that in the chat now. The lock comes off at 7 o'clock my time tonight. I wanted to give everybody the opportunity to see the lock. I will be in the chat at 7. We will then burn those tokens. And I apologize, the gentleman that made the suggestion the other day, that we will relock tokens each week. So for next week, it'll be 10 trillion. And then every Thursday following that, it'll be 5 trillion tokens that we will consistently burn. Next week will be our final tax reduction. It'll take the marketing tax from 2% down to 1%, and we will be down at our final 17% tax for this token, and 15% of that will be BUSD reward. And I'm not seeing too many other questions in the chat. So last call, we will post that link for Stu's design for the NFT ticket prototypes. Complete with the checkout. It is a prototype. You cannot buy these tickets. You cannot buy these NFTs. Welcome back.
Hey, I'm working and listening. That's how busy I am.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So this is what we're going to take to a couple meetings, by the way. I forgot. We already have a couple big, I guess you would call them, people in the ticket business. We're not going to try and rewrite the ticket business ourselves. That would be silly. This is more to work with like a ticket master and integrate with them and whatever they want to do. So that is the goal.
And some background that Stu has an extensive network of people that he's worked with his marketing agency that he's the CEO and founder of as well, coupled with my connections with the Festival Association, connections with the entertainment industry, and the agencies that I've worked with over the years. It will be, again, a process. We're working with our board to also get EverReflect live event NFT tickets registered for a number of associations around the country. Those associations could be anything from festival associations to fair associations to college campus associations. Being registered as an official EverReflect Marketing LLC company within those associations gives us entry into their conventions, gives us the opportunity to go in person and demo those live NFT tickets. And there'll probably be an extensive period of travel around the United States coming up this next summer into the fall to demo this, because even though people are familiar with a hard ticket from Ticketmaster that you got at a box office, it took some transition time to even get it to be just a QR code that's on your cell phone. Now that people are familiar with a QR code that's on your cell phone, the next step is, okay, well, this is an NFT ticket. It's still in your Apple Wallet. It's still on your phone. It's still digital. But this is how you transition this. This is how you would sell this. This is how you trade this. So there will be an adoption period. But adoption takes time with all utilities, with all of these different transitions, basically, in market share. But we know that the transition's coming. We have had a few artists that are in our chat now that are mid-level to mid-range artists, recording artists, doing studio time, doing music, videos, things of that nature. Most of them are extremely excited about this because of the fact that they know that they have to do their own promotion, they have to do their own booking, they have to do their own merch. This gives them the opportunity to take control of renting their own venues and managing the tickets themselves, and still seeing secondary ticket price revenues that a lot of artists don't see, especially early on. If you're mid-level or lower, you many times say a ticket will go on sale for $20 to $50. The promoter will sell it. Then you could sell out maybe 1,000, and that artist receives $500 or $250. If you're the opener, sometimes you make $100. So in this case, that gives control back to the mid-level artists and not just musicians. It can be comedians. It can be also utilized that you'll see on his demo tickets. If you wanted to do auctions and you wanted to do wine events or one-offs, the capabilities for creative utilization of NFT tickets will even inspire us, because we haven't even thought of all the ideas of how artists, entertainers, and creative types are going to be able to utilize this platform. So, any other questions? No? All right. So look at Pink Sale. Look at that lock. We're burning them at 7. We will relock them at 7. If there's any questions about circulating supply, about the market cap, of what these burns do, that's why we gave the opportunity in this AMA for people to be able to listen in, ask questions prior to it happening before we unlocked it. Every week moving forward, we're going to burn it right at the beginning. As soon as the AMA starts, they will be burned. This week, I wanted to give some a breather time or any question time if anybody had it. So if there's no other questions, we will go ahead and conclude this AMA. We will shoot over that prototype NFT ticket link that Stu has so graciously shared with us and has been busting his butt to be able to work on. So thank you, Stu. Thank you for all of the work by those mods like Superman and Brett and B Unit and H Unit and C Unit and everybody across the board, because our team is strong. Our team is the foundation that has grown into a community, that the community is the foundation. We need every one of you. We need every one of you to let the world know what we're doing. And that takes more than just talking about tokenomics and the current price chart. This is a long-term vision with bigger plans than just whatever the market cap or price is of EverReflect today. I guarantee you guys will be excited when we share the other steps of what we're doing with these utilities over the weeks to come. So thank you so much for your time. Once again, EJ with EverReflect signing off, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.